POL242 Osaka 2013. Homework 5. Reasons for disliking outgroups. March 19, 2014. My research question is what factors determine how a person views outgroups in Canada, and the purpose of this is to determine any factors that contribute to people liking or disliking groups who are traditionally thought as out in society. I'm using the CES 2011 dataset, and my analytical approach will be multiple regression analysis and elaboration through hierarchical regression. For my dependent variable, I am using an index that measures the feelings towards Aboriginal peoples, gays and lesbians, feminists, and racial minorities. All these are indicators of how someone feels towards an identifiable outgroup in Canadian society. As you can see, Cronbach's alpha is 0.79, indicating that since it is larger than 0.60, the indicators are related enough to create an index. My first hypothesis is that respondents who take part of many religious activities are more likely to dislike outgroups. My second hypothesis is that respondents who think minority groups do not need special rights are more likely to have negative feelings towards outgroups. And my third hypothesis is that respondents who think equal rights have gone far enough are more likely to dislike outgroups. The rationale behind my first hypothesis is that people partaking in more religious organizations have a tighter sense of in-group, therefore they are more likely to discriminate against the outgroup. The rationale behind my second is that discontent over programs that are meant to help outgroups may indicate discrimination. My third hypothesis rationale is that members of dominant groups wish to impose their rule over outgroups in societies. The multiple regression analysis shows us the R-square is about 0.10, indicating explained variance of approximately 10%. The significance of the overall equation is 0.0000, indicating it is not likely due to sampling error. When looking at the variable enough equality, the b-value is 0.29, indicating that one category increase in people thinking quality has gone enough produces plus 0.29 change in prejudice towards outgroups. The beta value shows that enough equality has the greatest impact on the dependent variable. To further the research, I have chosen to add a fourth hypothesis and conduct a hierarchical regression with it. My hypothesis, which I think should show specification, is that respondents who say they voted for political parties with more traditional values, such as Conservative Party, will show an increase in the dislike for outgroups. For this, I have added a control variable, PES11_6, which asks respondents what party they voted for in the last election. When recoding the variable, I omitted the category liberal to use as a reference category. The rationale for this hypothesis is that traditionally conservative governments have sought to limit the rights of outgroups, so it is possible that those who support these parties also have more negative feelings towards outgroups. As you can see by this correlation matrix, the relationship between the index and the new variables is not that strong. There is a relationship between enough equal rights and a dependent variable because the Pearson's R is 0.3150. However, there seems to be a fairly strong relationship between conservative and enough equality. It is a negative relationship. In this slide, I have put my original multiple regression together with my new multiple regression that takes into account political party. As you can see, the significance of the overall equation for the new multiple regression is 0.0000, indicating that it is not likely due to sampling error. The adjusted R-square of the new multiple regression is approximately 0.14, indicating explained variance of approximately 14% in this new table. To further understand this relationship, we're going to be looking at a hierarchical regression model. As you can see, in Model 1, we're only using enough equality, no special rights, and religion. As you can see, the beta for enough equality is 0.28. After adding in the control variables of parties into Model 2, we can see that the beta for enough equality has actually gone down, but not enough to be significant. So instead of specification, this is more a cause of replication. However, we can see that the adjusted R-square goes up in Model 2. This means that we can actually have more explained variance, about 14% as opposed to the 10% from Model 1. We can see though that the conservatives and the Bloc Québécois have the highest betas among the control variable, meaning that they do have impact on the second model. Conclusions. Findings show that respondents who think equal rights have gone far enough are more likely to dislike outgroups. The third hypothesis is the strongest. When taking what party respondents voted for into consideration, there is little change in the regression, signifying replication. The political implications are that perhaps Canadians do not vote for their parties on the basis of traditions, and the discrimination towards outgroups is not closely related to political affiliation like it once may have been in the past in Canada.